Okay, so let's jump into this video and talk about working with our test output, diagnostic, and ref sync capture features we're going to be finding in our Motec software. So our test outputs are going to allow us to test any output from our Motec. So whether it's going to be an injector, what's going to be a coil, or it's going to be another kind of output such as a boost solenoid or an idle control motor, we're able to test those before we even put our Motec in a vehicle. So if we've built a engine harness for a Motec and we're not sure if it's wired correctly, we can test that on a test bench using the test output feature. It's actually a really awesome feature and something I always implement and I always use before I go and ship an engine harness that I've made to a customer or a client or something I'm working with, or if I even want to test an output from a Motec. If I suspect that maybe an output's burnt out, I'm able to also quickly test using this test output feature. So we're going to be also finding we have a ref sync capture mode, and that's going to allow us to take a look at the cam and crank pattern for our engine. So if we're unsure if we have what cam and crank pattern we're working with, if we're not sure if it's a 6+1 or it's a 36 missing 1 or it's a 60 missing 2 or whatever the case may be, we can measure and capture the ref sync from the oscilloscope feature that's built into our software. It's actually really powerful, and it's going to allow us to kind of take a look at things so we can understand what we need to program when we're setting up our cam and crank sensors or the ref sync inputs for our Motec. Now, the last thing we're going to be taking a look at is our diagnostics function. So if we're suspecting we have any kind of problems going on, we can jump into our diagnostics section, take a look at all of the raw sensor voltages or any kind of faults that might be occurring, and we can really quickly pinpoint what's going on and go either reset the problem, or we can go and deal with the problem and then go ahead and reset our diagnostic fault that's been already tripped in our Motec, and we can continue with tuning. So that's going to be another real powerful tool that the Motec has. So I'm going to be showing you how to go in and use all of these features in this video. So without further wait, let's jump in so we can check this out. Okay, so let's get started here. We're going to be taking a look at working with our test output feature, our ref sync capture, and our diagnostics capability in our Motec. So these are going to be all things you need in order to successfully tune with the Motec. You're going to be finding that you're going to get in situations with a race car, especially with the Motec, that things aren't going to work right. And being able to move past the problem or diagnose the problem is going to be half the battle as being a tuner. So Motec gives you some really awesome options here that can help you figure things out very quickly. And I really like working with these features. So the very first feature we're going to be talking about and working with here is our test outputs. So if we're unsure if something's working correctly, maybe we don't know if we have spark in a cylinder or an injector's working right, or maybe an auxiliary output that we have configured, we don't know if it's working right, we can test those outputs and we can confirm if that circuit is working. Maybe the wiring, something's wrong, or maybe it got damaged. Maybe the Motec actually got damaged and we're not sure if the output's working. We can test that. And it's really, really simple to go ahead and test any of the outputs from our Motec. So the very first thing we're going to do here, to jump up into utilities, we can see this test outputs here is going to be able to be clicked. So if I click this, it's going to tell me that I have to go and get out of my ECU. I have to close my ECU here. Right now I'm connected and I'm online. I'm going to hit continue here.